Hey guys, what's going on? How's everybody doing? Hey Dart. Oh, hey Markbot. Hey Cool Cat, Queen Miss Bliss, Stank Engine, Zoka, Jordan Joes, Maxwell Malone, Pickle Tennis Winner, Mario, Shot Troops, and Panda Overlord. Scary reptilian person. What's up guys? How's it going? Thank you, Shakur Habub, for stopping your recreational activities to join me in today's stream. Guys, I am fully moved into my apartment. This is awesome. I'm so excited. I know you guys have been really patient with me, waiting on me to like move into my apartment and everything. I just got my internet set up on Thursday and I was just like checking emails and checking comments and doing a little twiddling here and there and taking care of some business as far as that stuff is concerned, updating my social medias. But for the most part, I'm pretty settled in. I still got a little bit of unboxing and stuff to do, putting some stuff away for the most part. Just a little tiny bit of tweaking here and there, but for the most part, everything is pretty much where it needs to be. So I'm pretty stoked, I'm pretty excited, and I'm so happy to be streaming again. I missed you guys, like holy shit, I missed the fuck out of you guys, like seriously, you have no idea. I felt really alienated for a little while, especially just like updating on social media. It was really weird, just talking to you guys, but everyone was so patient with me and everyone was just like, Eden, don't worry, it's okay, we'll always wait for you and just get settled and all that stuff. So that really, really like took a huge load off my shoulders, just knowing that you guys were like, you know, rooting for me on the move and congratulating me and waiting on me to get acclimated to the area that I was at. But yeah, so things are gonna be back in business. I start work on Monday, which is awesome. I'm really stoked for that. Yeah, so I start work on Monday, and after that, I will be on a regular schedule. I start work at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. After that, I'll be able to like tell you guys what my schedule is like for the most part. And hi Haley, hi Goliath Gaming. But yeah, oh Terrence, hey, what's up, man? How's it going? And Megan Myers, aw, you're awesome. Thank you so much. But yeah, so I start work on Monday, and I'm gonna be on a regulated schedule for the next 3 months. I have a 90-day training period, so I'll be having my weekends back for at least for the next 3 months, which is awesome. I'm on a regular schedule. I'll be working from 1 o'clock until about 10 o'clock at night. So if I do any streaming or whatever, it'll be like in the morning or it'll be later at night, depending on what's going on. The good thing is that I'm only 10 minutes away from my apartment from my job. So, oh my god, thank you, Empoleon, you're awesome. Big Daddy Jefferson, hey, what's going on? Aw, thanks, Queen Miss Bliss. I'm glad that I'm making your day better. That's really cool. Oh, Mr. Extremes, hey, what's going on, man? It's so good to see you. Hey, Kirkwood Kid, Desai, aw, I love you too. But yeah, so, I'm gonna be able to get videos out more often to you guys because I'm on a regulated schedule now and I have more time to focus on editing. Because the reason why I was having a hard time getting videos done before was because it was really hard regulating my job and all the extra stuff that I had to do with my job. So I normally didn't get home until 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and then I had to do a bunch of other stuff. And so by the time I got to sit down on the computer and edit, it was almost 7, 8 o'clock, and then I'd have to go to bed because you guys all know what kind of crazy schedule I was on last year, or, you know, a few months back, working from 2 o'clock in the morning till 2 o'clock in the afternoon, sometimes till 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So it was just really, really stressful and really, really hard. You know, Acrylic Superman, hey, Texas. Yeah, that's right, I'm in Texas, guys. Aw. Hey, Jay Silver, so good to see you. Hey, Jen. Hey, Jessica, hi from Singapore. Thanks for stopping by, Mr. Extremes, I really appreciate it. Hey, Bearded Diesel. Oh, wow, D's nuts. That's really funny. Thank you for being a first-time viewer. Thank you for coming here and checking things out. I appreciate it. We're gonna start reading stories here in a moment. Like I said, I just want to take a moment to update everyone on what's going on. King of all gods, I would love to collaborate with Lazy Masquerade again at some point. It's just that we've been really busy and we're all in different time schedules and time zones, so it's really hard for all of us to get together and manage things the way that we need to. Yes, pickle tennis Werner. Like, what is there to think about? Of course. Yeah, Jack, I'm gonna try and do more outtake videos. Hey, Jazzy Smith, long time no see. Yeah, but I just want to update on everyone what's going on. I have not played Doomfist yet. I've not. Hey, Antoine, life is good. I'm awesome. I'm really happy to be moved into my apartment. It's great. I'm excited. I cannot wait to get to work again. Like, not only to work at my new job, but to actually fully focus all of my attention back on YouTube again, because I've missed the shit out of you guys. For the last week and a half, it's just been packing and unpacking and putting everything together, and then, like, getting everything organized the way that I want it to be organized. It's just really crazy. Megan, I am a technical director for the television news station. The local television news station here is where I'll be technical directing for. My training period starts on Monday. I have 3 months of training. And hey, Facepalm the Panda, and hello, the Ogre. Hello from Finland. Aw, thank you for joining me. Hello from Texas, United States. Of course, Jazzy, I would never forget you. You always come into my streams. It's awesome. I've missed you guys. Missed the fuck. Oh my god, like, I'm literally gonna start crying because I missed you guys so fucking much. Like, you have no idea. But yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead. I'm not gonna chit chat for too long. I promised you guys that I would read a few stories for you, and then after reading a few stories, yes, Dank Engine, it feels so good to get back into the swing of things. I'm so happy, like, you have no idea. But yeah, so I'm gonna read a few stories. There's a particular story series I found on Reddit that I thought was really cool. I might go back and read it on my channel, like officially make a video for it. I gotta ask, I gotta get the whole like skinny on it and figure out what's going on with it before I do that. But I think it's really cool. Hey, Hussein Bailoon, hello. Spartan 2001, hey, what's going on? Jose Salazar, awesome, thank you for coming into the stream. Aw, Wild Moonche, hello from, oh, you're from Delhi, India, that's awesome. Hey, A, hello from Germany. Glad you're not streaming at 3 a.m. like usual. Thank you. I decided to stream a little earlier in the afternoon today for all of my UK people who like live overseas. I know a lot of you guys were talking about me streaming a little earlier so that you guys didn't have to miss the stream or you weren't having to stay up till 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. I apologize. I'll try to stream at least once a week at this particular schedule, but for the most part, I'll probably be streaming between 5 and 6 o'clock in the afternoon on the weekends for the most part. Hey, edits. Yes, I did. Aw, poor Terrence. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to hear that. Masked Gamer, I will do a face reveal when I hit 100,000 subscribers. It's the one question that everyone always asks me. Aw, thank you, the Raven. You're awesome. But I will do a face reveal after I hit 100,000 subscribers. It's the one question that everyone frequently asks me. Hey, Jack Payne. Yes, Tad's tapes rock. Pretty much the most amazing thing ever. Like, you have no idea. Hi, Undercover Goth. Mukbang. The move was good. Hello, Miss K. Reeds. Oh, I missed you too, Panda Overlord. It's good to see you. Akshay Verma. Oh, hello. Hi from India. Thank you. Everyone really likes that voice. Is Lazy still my husbando? I don't know. We might have divorced. We haven't really talked about it. Alimony's a thing, though. I'm just letting you guys know. Alimony is a thing. Yes, I do post when I'm uploading on Twitter or live streaming. I usually let people know ahead of time when I'm about to post a video on YouTube, via Twitter, and via Facebook. The place is awesome, Hussein. Thank you. Rabbit Pink Bunny, oh my gosh, it's so good to see you. Randomizer televiewage. Hello from Oklahoma. Let me tell you, I drove through Oklahoma and that weather was fucking crazy. Aw, Jen, okay, well be sure to come back, alright? Michael Blackburn. Oh, no problem. You hate children now, Terrence? That's awful. But yeah, so we're gonna get into reading some stories here in a moment. But like I said, it's a little short series. I may turn it into a full-scale series. I don't know yet. And then I'm just gonna go through and let you guys, I'm gonna play some old videos that not a lot of people really have gotten a chance to listen to. I mean, they're in my Eden Reads playlist, so some of you may have heard them already, but they're oldies but goodies, and I'll pick a few that I think are my absolute favorite. No, Moofy, Blue is not here. He's in Hawaii, I'm in Texas. It's just a thing. Hi, Cool Cat. Yes, thank you. I'm so happy to be back. The Fool and the Freak. My favorite video game? Oh gosh, it's really hard to say. Right now, my favorite video game is definitely Persona 5. I love it so much. I haven't got a chance to go back and play it though, because I told myself I'm gonna go and play through all my other video games that I've bought that I really need to go through and like actually beat them, like Horizon Zero Dawn and Nier Automata and, you know, several other games listed that I just haven't had the time to focus on because I'm stupid and I don't know how to prioritize my gaming life, guys. It's a crisis. I used to. Now, not so much anymore. Well, if you guys do happen to run into me, all of you people in Texas, you know, I may do a meet and greet one day after I do an official face reveal. So it's going to be a while. I'm almost at 29,000 subscribers, guys. This is crazy. Like, holy shit. Can you imagine? Like 3 years ago, I literally only had 50 subs. Like, that's insanity. Actually, no, it was more like 2 years ago. Yeah, that's about right. About 2 years ago, I had about 50 subs, and then I just, like, exploded, right? That's a thing. Opinion on the Dead Rising series. I really liked Dead Rising 1 and 2. I actually didn't play 3 and 4 because I didn't have a console at the time to play it. But the other two games I did like a lot. I was that guy at the very beginning of the game who got knocked out by the zombies in the mall and woke up because the guy rescued me. Because I was an idiot who picked up the TV and started swinging it around at the undead because I'm stupid. Ranger Boy. Believe it or not, I used to live in Mississippi, so the weather here is actually really fucking awesome because there's hardly any humidity. Seriously, like the highest I've seen the humidity so far was like 30%, and compared to back home, that is literally nothing. Like nothing. Like back home, it felt like even though it was 85, 90 degrees, it felt like a wet carpet was being thrown over my body and then I was wrapped in a tarp. Like it was gross. I love Breaking Bad. For those of you who haven't seen Better Call Saul, you should check it out as well. It's part of that series. It's awesome. That's awesome, Undercover Goth. I definitely have to, I would love to check out your story if you would like. I moved because of my job, Moofy. I got a better job, and so with better pay and better hours, so why not move? So that's a thing. That is definitely a thing. Hey, creepy Razzie, what is going on? Oh, no problem, the Fool and the Freak. All right, guys, so we got a pretty decent amount of people here. I'm going to go ahead and start reading some stories. Like I said, I'm really, really excited to be back. I'm so stoked. Let me know. That's awesome, Darth the Rainwood. I do not have a Discord server. I really need to make one. That's another thing that I'm planning on doing is I'm going to create a Discord server for you, for the fans to come in and chat and whatever. And I also plan on trying to like build a forum, some kind of forum. I forgot the host that it's under, but I want to build a forum where people can like come in and chat and like post stories and stuff. I have a subreddit on Reddit. For those of you guys who want to submit some stories to me, I'll go ahead and post a link in the descriptions here. Give me one moment, or I'm gonna post the link into the chat here. So if you want to send me stories or post any stories, doesn't matter if they're no sleep or creepypasta, fiction, true scary stories, like let me know. Just make sure you label what like it is in brackets so I know that it's a fiction or a creepypasta or a no sleep story or a true scary story. So that way I can keep up with it and it's like archived in the thing, well, in the subreddit. That'd be awesome. So here's the link for you guys. I'll post it again periodically in the chat every time we get done with something so that you guys know what's going on. But yeah, I would love to have you guys jump into the subreddit and submit stories and stuff like that. That'd be awesome. Because it's just a good way for me to keep up with everything. I mean, I love getting emails from you guys, but sometimes like along with business email, like not that email address is not only for stories, like I get business emails from there about like possible voiceover work and collaborations and stuff like that. So having it in a subreddit that's specifically for stories is really, really good for me to be able to keep up with. And it's all archived and put together in one spot, so I'm not having to like comb through emails and differentiate which are stories and differentiate which is business and differentiate which are just basic emails of people just coming in and saying hello to me. All right. Okay. Hey, Rainer Lewington, just stopping by to say hello. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. You're awesome. Congratulations on, I don't know if you got your book published yet. I know you were talking about it. But I wasn't sure. If you've gotten it done yet. But if you did, congratulations. If you didn't, good luck on your release. I'm stoked. Oh yeah, that's right, Lady Scream. I did read your story. That's awesome. Okay, so first things first, I'll start with just a quick little doodah here. I actually do want to turn this into a video. But the first story is I witnessed a strange TV broadcast that no one else was awake to see. It's by @McKibben87 on Reddit. It's a no sleep story. So I will post the link in the chat and so you guys can read along with me as I read aloud. Aw, thank you, Pickle Tennis Werner. I try to... Like, I really do try to, like, keep up with my fans because I love my fans. You guys are what keep me going. And I wasn't kidding when I said that I missed the shit out of you guys. Seriously. It's so good to be back. I'm so happy. So it's just so great to be back in the swing of things, if you know what I mean. So, but I'm stoked. I'm really, really, really stoked to get back into the swing of things and get back to editing and recording and everything. So my fans are really important to me. It means a lot that you guys support me and everything that I do. Hi, kitty baby. Yeah, you should, Terrence. Seriously, I want to know, you know, what's going on with that. Aw, thanks, Blissful Martini. Okay, bye, the Fool and the Freak. I wish you could stay longer too. Maybe if you come back and I'm still streaming, I'd love to have you, you know, come in and chat with us and see what's going on. Okay, it's coming out August 18th. Awesome, that's great. Yay, Lucy! Oh my gosh, you guys. Okay, so Lucretia Vestiate, she is so fucking talented. One of the best stories I've read on my channel was called Asphyxia. It's definitely my favorite story that I've read. And I love it so much, and she's such a fucking talented writer. And so I've got to give her props. She's awesome. Hey, Lone Wolf 420. And it's one of the most original stories I've read in a long time. I love exclusive creepypasta stories. She actually sent me another one, which is really long, and I do plan on splitting that up into a series. So you guys definitely need to look forward to that. I'm really fucking stoked about it. Like, you guys have no idea. So yeah, anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and post the link to this story for you guys so you can listen or read with me as I read aloud. And like I said, between stories, I'm gonna alternate between new stories and old videos that I've done in the past. I'm still trying to work out this whole thing with OBS, and even if you can't see the video, I set up a video overlay to play whenever it's time for me to play the video. So, you know, you guys can keep up with it and whatnot. But anyway, so here we go. I will post it one more time in the chat. Oh, Noise Miyazaki. I love Miss Marnie's Tea House. That's definitely one of my favorites by Rana. Rana's very, very talented as well. But yeah, so here's the link. Aw, Lucretia, don't cry. Seriously, you're awesome. Like, you don't get enough credit. And she's a super talented artist too, by the way, guys. So if you get a chance, you should check out her work. I'm also going to be doing a motion comic. She sent me a comic, and I'm going to, like, do a motion comic version of it where, basically, it's got a really cool premise to it. Short, it's sweet, it gets to the point. I'm just looking for a couple of other VAs to join me in on that excursion. So yeah, that's a thing. Everyone likes that story too. I actually might play it here momentarily in my oldies but goodies bit whenever I go through and intermingle between things. Hi, Tim Willis. Thank you very much. I missed you guys. You guys fucking rock. Like, seriously, I'm so happy to be back into the swing of things, like, for real. Alright, so let's get started here. I will post the link one more time for you guys. Oh, I missed you. I missed you guys. Seriously. Oh, so awesome. Have you ever watched a channel like Adult Swim late into the night, half asleep, and they play one of those infomercial shorts that completely take you off guard? Sometimes it's something quick and you can tell it's a joke. Sometimes it's a full program like this house has people in it or too many cooks. They can be funny, they can be creepy, but you always realize after a while that it's all in good fun and it was clearly something meant to confuse and creep out potheads watching late at night. But a couple of days ago, damn, I can't even point out the exact date, it's just so surreal. I witnessed a program on Adult Swim that definitely felt like one of those shorts. I was really out of it. It was like 3 in the morning, so I was really tired, but a lot of things stuck out to me about it. I was watching some Samurai Jack rerun late into the night, and during the bumper, I remember the music cutting out for a bit and the screen going dark. Thinking my shitty cable was acting up again, I began to groggily walk up to my TV when I noticed something fading in. There was clearly a chroma keyed scan line overlay over the whole video, and the audio quality was pretty bad. It didn't look like a professional production, and it was something like unedited footage of this house, where the effects actually looked real. I was taken aback a bit by the program, as it didn't look like anything I had seen on the network before. Most of my memory of the broadcast is a blur, but there were some distinct things about it that stuck out to me. It was live action, as most of these surprise broadcasts are. The entire thing was done from one camera angle. I remember there being a total of 5 people, no distinct features. They all had names, but I can't remember. The broadcast was about 10 minutes of a shot of the living room of these people. They all sat down watching the camera as if it was their TV. I could hear the sound of the second half of the Samurai Jack episode I was watching in the background. I would have been jealous if they were watching the episode I wasn't, but I was too tired to care. Thinking I might be watching some sort of new short film from Alan Resnick or something, though the lack of quality surely didn't support that idea compared to his other work. I sat myself up in my couch and attentively paid attention to what I assumed someone else would record and upload on YouTube tomorrow. If I knew any better, I would have quickly grabbed my capture card, connected to my TV box, and uploaded the entire thing. The family discussed various things. It was very casual for the most part, which made me question what I was seeing. After around 7 minutes of monotony, I considered just going back to sleep, writing it off as a prank. Adult Swim just blue-balling avid Samurai Jack fans. But then things started happening. People started leaving the couch, excusing themselves for a bathroom break or other reasons. By minute 8, the entire group was away from the couch. Around a half minute later, the silhouette of a man began to fade in the corner of the screen. I didn't notice it at first because I was so tired, and it started me when I looked to the corner of my screen and saw it. It was the silhouette of a man, but you couldn't see any of him, and static replaced where his body would be. Almost as if he was cut out of the picture and replaced with a crappy gif of TV static. He was standing behind the couch in the corner of the room, facing directly towards the camera. After about 30 seconds of feeling unnerved by this, the sounds of yelling voices slowly faded in, and 2 of the people from earlier ran in from the right side. Both were women, one of them wielding an axe. I was very awake now, so I could remember this perfectly. The fizzly gray figure turned its position towards the yelling girls. The one wielding the axe looked furious. She was screaming something hard to make out. The other was much younger. She looked scared and just whimpering in response. The thing I made out were things like, "You did it!" or "You killed him, you bastard!" Stuff like that. It was clear she was furious at the younger girl. Another person ran in, a boy. He tried to restrain her, but before the woman lifted the axe as the younger girl flinched, and she brought it down on her as the Samurai Jack credits could clearly be heard playing in the background. I almost laughed. The axe hit the girl the moment the "Wacha" sound effect played. I was now very confused, but I just wrote it off as an edgy short film that somehow got onto Adult Swim. The gore looked really realistic, though. The axe split the woman's head right down the middle. She began to jolt around in an almost seizure-like fashion as the other characters ran in and restrained the angry woman. After about a minute of chaos and the other people pinning the furious woman on the ground, the screen went black again and began to play regularly scheduled programming again. I shrugged this off as a crappy short film and fell asleep after a minute of me pondering what I saw. The next day, I woke up and looked to see if anyone else had seen the broadcast on social media. I was surprised to see no mention of it. I would figure the people I follow to either be talking about it or even just laughing about it, but I saw no mention. I texted a few people about it, and I was told they fell asleep before the time it aired. At this point, I was frustrated. I checked Adult Swim social media, I asked around a lot, I could find nothing about this broadcast. I was beginning to get creeped out by this, and after about a week of hearing nothing about it, I woke to the sound of sirens around a block away. I walked down to where the noise was coming from and saw Excel Energy and some firefighters using a ladder to climb one of those large posts. Not a cable tower, but just something to keep the wires off the ground. I walked up to a firefighter watching the guy work on whatever they were fixing. I asked why people were here. Someone crudely connected their laptop to this thing like a week ago and broadcasted some weird shit all over this town apparently. No one we've talked to seems to have been able to wait to see what played. All the files seem to have been encrypted though. Anyways, that guy's just removing all the wiring the guy left behind. I paused for a second, trying to remember if the Adult Swim logo was in the bottom right corner during what supposed short. I don't think it was. But I didn't say anything, I just walked back to my house. I had a headache. I decided to skim through the newspaper from last week to check one more time if anything about the weird ad broadcast was brought up. My blood ran cold as my gaze crossed a particularly intriguing news article. One woman murdered during get-together. Connection to husband murder case. Yes, there were 5 people at the get-together. I need to sleep. I didn't say anything to police. I'm just too scared and unnerved right now. A lot of people were talking about how I said I'm tired like 7 times throughout the story. And yeah, I'm sorry about that. I've been in a bit of a slump ever since around a month ago. In my depressed state, I have been constantly feeling exhausted or tired. It's hard, but I'm trying to deal with it. Anyways, a friend actually ended up contacting me saying he had seen and taped the broadcast. Something that I should have done. His name's Randall. I call him Randy. Anyway, we go way back, all the way to the 2nd grade. We've actually lived in this neighborhood since forever. We hadn't hung out as much lately. That's mostly my fault, but I head down to his house anyways. If he had a tape of the event, I wanted to make my own, then turn one copy over to the police. Although, that's only if I decide to talk to the police at all. Part of me wants to know what happened, but another just wants to stay out of it. I don't need my life to be a movie. Anyways, I drove down to his house. I could have just walked, but I didn't want to because, well, you know. Rung the doorbell and he answered the door. "Come in and shut the door behind you, please, man. I'm wicked hungover," he said. I laughed a bit. Walked into the house. We left the lights off, not helping my paranoia, but the meeting was very brief. He seemed rather off, however. I wrote this off as the effects of his hangover. He was rather monotone and quiet, but I mean, I can't blame him. He unexpectedly saw what could potentially be a real murder in the middle of the night. I brought the tape home, and after checking that it was actually what I saw at his house, and got to work on copying the tape. The 2 VCRs I used for doing so hadn't been touched since I was a teen. Static electricity gave me a huge shock as I touched the thing. I inserted the tape. The tape showed the first half of the Samurai Jack episode. The bumper came up and... What? The tape ended. Which shouldn't have happened, seeing as me and Randy checked it. It wasn't like it showed the first few seconds or anything and that all we checked. No, it stopped the moment the bumper cut to darkness. I was furious, but at the same time just plain confused. I tried the other VHS player. I tried buying a new cheap one for less at the thrift store, but all I got for trying that was painfully learning the player doesn't read the screeching signal that tells most VHS players the tape should be over correctly. Instead, it actually plays it. That was not fun for my ears. I tried calling Randy about it, but all I got was his voicemail. Went back to his house, infuriated, but his door was locked and his car was nowhere to be seen. Just today, I got a phone call from him. I picked it up. Randy was on the other line, but he was talking in a more firm and tough tone I had ever heard him talk to anyone. He wasn't one to be like this. He was usually a pretty nice and happy guy. "Are you calmed down now?" he said the moment I picked up the phone. It sent a shiver up my spine. Randy? Sure, don't go digging your nose too hard into this thing, alright? I saw some shit the past few days after you left. I tried to ask him about what the hell was going on, but I heard his voice crack on the other side, and he went back to his normal voice. "I'm sorry, man. Just stay away from this as much as possible. It's not directed towards you. Keep it that way." Dude, what happened? There was a moment of silence, and after a while, I faintly heard him whisper on the other side. He spoke to me. He hung up. I haven't been able to get in contact with him the past few days. I'm very panicked. I don't want something bad to happen to him, but from the way he was speaking, it sounds like something already has. And that's the story. Randy Pinkerson, you guys are silly. Alright, that was actually a pretty cool story. I may read it later, do some proper editing. Sorry about that weird music cut in there, guys. Aw, see you later, Terrence. Hey, 112. Hey, Vidith! What's going on, man? Seriously. What the hell? I feel like you're in and out, in and out, in and out lately. But seriously, we need to do some stuff together. For those of you who don't know, Vidith22, he played Jason the Toymaker in my story, Jason the Toymaker. You know what? Screw that. I might read it today, Undercover Goth. Like I said, I kind of had a schedule going on that I wanted to do. I wanted to knock out a few stories and read some old ones and then, you know, call it a day because I still got some unpacking to do. I'm like chugging down Red Bull. Plus, I need to eat. I haven't eaten yet today, but I wanted to stream first because I'm so excited I missed you guys. I might read it later. Scary Reptilian Person. Aw, thank you, Wild. Thank you, Jacqueline Escobar. Who was that? Oh, hey, Alex Kim. Thanks, Silver. Alrighty, let's see here what we got going on. Alright, so next story, I'm going to put up a video and let you guys listen to... what should I do? May end up letting you guys listen to... Actually, no, I have a video ready. What am I talking about? Alright, so the next story is going to be my reading of Red Riding Hood. Mostly because I'm going to be doing a video with Blame It on George or Jorge later on down the road, and we're doing 8 scary or 8 grim and scary fairy tale stories. And Red Riding Hood happens to be one of them, but it's not this particular story. But I do love this version of Red Riding Hood. I love it. It's awesome. Plus, all the music on this video is done by none other than Miyu. Awesome. The whole soundtrack is his. It's amazing. So, yeah, we're going to go into that so you guys can listen to it. I might be streaming for another 30 to 45 minutes. I have leftover pizza that I'm going to eat, but it's from this place called Pizza 9, which is really awesome. They do like handmade pizzas. It's like Chicago style pizza, but it's awesome. So I'm excited. Well, it's a German fairy tale, but it's kind of got a twist to it. It's got combinations of that and the Jinro Wolf Brigade story. Yeah, I'll be doing another Q&A video at some point. I do eat ribs. Holy shit, there's this really awesome rib place called Dyer's. It's like the best ribs in all of Texas, apparently. Shit is to die for. I may end up going back over there later on this week. Yeah, leftover pizza is pretty awesome. Okay, so here we go. Let's see if this works. I'm hoping this works.
Once upon a time, on the edge of the deep woods, lived a young lady who always wore a hood of scarlet. Because of this, she was called Red Riding Hood. One day, her mother, who was an herbalist, decided to move deeper into the woods to get at the potent ingredients that grew there. But she did not want to subject her daughter to the grave dangers that lurked in the shadows. So she left Red Riding Hood in the care of her uncle. But the Hood's uncle was a stern man and forced Red Riding Hood to wear iron clothes, stating that until she was strong enough to wear down and break the clothes of iron, would she then be allowed to reunite with her mother. She hated it. Hood smashed it with her bare fists and rubbed it against the walls every night in hopes that it would break free so she could go see her mother again. One day, many weeks later, The clothes of iron finally broke apart, so her uncle let her go. But he gave her strict instructions to stay on the path, and that she should take the path of needles at the fork in the road, and stay clear of the path of pins. She agreed at once and set off on her journey. A hunter, who knew the dangers of the woods, saw Red Riding Hood go in and decided to follow her, unseen, if only to make sure that no harm befell the girl. At the fork in the road where the path of pins and the path of needles began, a wolf appeared before Red Riding Hood. He was sly and asked the girl where she might be going on such a pretty day. Hood was nervous, but polite, and answered that she was on her way to her mother's house by the lake. The wolf told her that he knew both ways well, and suggested that Hood might get there faster if she went by the path of pins. Red Riding Hood was doubtful of the wolf, but she took the advice anyway, heading down the path of pins. For who would know the woods better than a wolf? But as she went down the path, the wolf grinned and made haste down the quicker way, the path of needles, to get to the lake and the house of Hood's mother first. But it just so happened that the hunter had been nearby in the bushes and heard everything. He, of course, saw through the wolf's plan and decided to follow the wolf. But wolves are harder to fool than little girls when it comes to being followed unseen, and this wolf would have no one meddle with his plans for a meal. So he turned and confronted the hunter, and a fierce battle began between the two. Both were strong and equally fierce, but in the end, the wolf was faster. He managed to break into the woods to escape the hunter, who was now off the path and lost in the forest. Unhindered, the wolf made it to the lake and killed Hood's mother in her own home, just as Red Riding Hood made her way out of the path of pins. Thinking fast, the wolf cleaned up as quickly as he could and dressed himself in one of the mother's nightgowns. He finished his disguise just as Hood knocked on the door 3 times. "Mother, unbar the door!" With a cooingly sweet voice, he replied, "Just push on it. It's not locked." Red Riding Hood was hungry from her long walk through the woods, so she asked her mother for something to eat. The wolf told her that there was food and drink for her on the kitchen table. And so she went to eat. But just as she started eating a piece of meat, a bird who had seen everything flew upon the windowsill and told her that she was eating her mother's flesh. Red Riding Hood looked at the wolf and said, "Mother, there's a bird that says I'm eating your flesh." The wolf said, "Throw your hood at that nasty bird. He tells you lies." But the bird had already flown off. Red Riding Hood then took a big drink from a glass of wine. She almost emptied it when a cat, who also had seen everything, told her not to be foolish, that she was drinking her own mother's blood. This unnerved Hood, who told the wolf, "Mother, your cat told me I was drinking your blood." The wolf said, "Just toss a shoe at that old cat. He is good for nothing." But by then, the cat had left the house to look for another home. And so Red Riding Hood finished the rest of her meal undisturbed. Now the food and drink had made Hood sleepy, and the wolf suggested that perhaps she should go to sleep. So Red Riding Hood undressed and made ready for bed. But she noticed the wolf standing near her, looking at her with hungry eyes. Only then did she begin to notice strange things about her mother. "Mother, look how big your ears are," she said. And the wolf answered, "Without them, I couldn't hear your heart beating nearly so well, my dear." "Mother, look how big your eyes are," and the wolf answered, "It's to see you all the better, my dear." "Mother, "Look how big your hands are." And the wolf answered, "Without them, I could not reach out and touch you, my dear." "Mother, look how big your teeth are." And the wolf ate Little Red Riding Hood. The hunter arrived at the house and had seen what the wolf had done. He swore to kill the wolf for eating the poor, innocent girl and her mother. But wolves really are stronger.
Okay, guys, so that was fun. Thank you, Lucy. Aw, Vidith, I hate that you left. No, he's gone. Well, that's okay, guys. I'm actually gonna play Jason the Toy Maker for you guys, so you guys can hear how awesome Vidith is. And for those of you who think that he's awesome, you should definitely go check out his channel and subscribe to him because he's really fucking good. Hey, Ned, how's it going? I love your icon. G-Dragon is amazing. Just saying. Anyway, yes, so that was actually, that was the start of the crazy laugh. One of two that started the crazy laugh, so to speak. Let's see. Thank you, Exotic DNM. You are so sweet. No idea, no idea. Hey, Swagger Bomb, how's it going? And yes, Alex, you can send me the story whenever you're done. That'd be awesome. I'd love to listen to it. No, Cheeky Rocket Boy, you didn't miss a whole lot. I read one story and I played an old one for everyone. So yeah, that's awesome. I'm excited. This is great. I loved this. I seriously did miss doing this. Let me see if I can find. Let's see. Oops. Is this in here? Oh, it's not in here. Unless it's in collabs. Let's see if it's in collabs. Aha! There it is. Gonna make some minor adjustments here, guys. Please hold for me. Thank you. looks about where it needs to be. Okay. Hey, creepy Raven, what's going down? Zelda Galaxy, why are you laughing? Are you making fun of my crazy laugh? Oh yeah, it's been a while, guys. I'm sorry. I don't know, Zelda, if you've been keeping up with the fact that I've been moving. I'm in the process, or I was in the process of moving, but now I'm fully moved into my apartment. I'm really happy to be back in the swing of things. You know, I'm thinking about reading Squidward Suicide, actually. It's such a classic creepypasta. What'd you report me to YouTube for? Ah, creepy Raven, you're awesome. Swagger Bomb, I don't know what's going on with this. I feel like every summer they go through this weird, like, adjustment purge bullshit. But if you go through and make sure you hit the bell after you subscribe to my channel, you'll be able to get notifications. It's weird. I don't know. My notifications are always late for other people that I've subscribed to. Hey, Pit Clover, how's it going? Sometime tonight I'm gonna record that scary crazy stuff for you so you can get finished on that animation you're doing. And I'm doing a sing-song voice because I can, so what the fuck not. It has been a while, Damage Mod. It's been a while since I've seen you, man. Where the hell have you been? I'm broke, Creepy Raven. I literally just moved. I can't afford to buy any more video games. Not yet. Not yet. But soon. Soon I shall join in the craziness that is the Friday the 13th bandwagon. Though, Dead by Daylight did have a new update recently with the Hunter, or the Huntress, or whoever that bitch is with the fucking bunny rabbit face, whatever. I'm really excited to play that. So we should do some Dead by Dead, for sure, for sure. Well, before my schedule was I would update 3 times a week and I would try to do a stream once a week. But because I've moved and my hours have changed now, I'm gonna try and do a video. I'm still gonna try and put out a video 3 times a week. My schedule's a lot more flexible now, so I'll be able to, like, get more shit done. I will. I'm on the Discord. I just don't have time to get in there as much anymore. I'm really sad. I don't practice that laugh, actually. It's really funny. I was not hitting people with microphones. That was all Swamp Dwellers. Lies. Lies and deceits. Liars. The cake is a lie. I got told that you can do a great Australian accent. Can we hear you do the Australian accent, please? The new pad's awesome. I like it a lot. It's nice and spacious and big, and my computer's all set up in the living room, and I'm really excited. But yeah, it's pretty dope. Late to the chat room as per usual. What's going on, fellow heathens? Limited Bears, hello. Lady White Rabbit? What? What about her? Did I miss something? Aw, Michael, tell your wife not to get jealous. Tell her not to get jealous. Tell her not to get jealous. I'm just a humble YouTuber enjoying life and being happy that I'm with my fans again. This is fucking great. So excited. For real. This is awesome. But yeah. Oop, where's my little chat window? Okay. Exotic DNM, I did notice you. But yeah, that's my schedule for right now. It is subject to change, but I do want to at least try and update on my channel 3 times a week. And starting next week, I will put up the finale of Dad's Tapes. I know I gave you guys the update last week, but my schedule was so much more hectic than I thought it was, so I couldn't get that video up. But I'm finishing up the final touches on it now. And after that, I don't bully animals. Shut up, cheeky rocket boy. I don't bully animals. Marky Moo, I am going to do a face reveal after I hit 100,000 subscribers. Until then, I will remain incognito, where no one will know what I look like. Oh, Swamp Dweller? No, somebody with bunny ears? When did I say that? I don't remember. I don't. But yes, I'm actually doing a video with her soon. That'll be up next week. Not on my channel, on her channel. Lady White Rabbits. You should go check her out. Bye, Jazzy. With all these fans. You're so punny. Yes. Scary Reptilian, don't start. Because you know I'll put your butt in timeout. Swear to God. Big Daddy Jefferson. Yes, you guys can dream. Yeah, Pitt, you know what I look like, but you have to keep mum's the word. Mum's the word. That's right. When life gives you lemons. Did I slap a cat? I don't remember slapping a cat. I did bully Raptor, though. I will admit that. I miss Raptor. I need to get him in here again one day. Seriously. But he's busy, too. Like, our schedules are all over the place. I do know Lazy Masquerade Marky Moo. I do. I did a collaboration with him on his channel, actually. No, poor Blissful Martini. Hi, Kevin Shruska. How are you? Having a few drinks. Well, have one for me, will ya? Let me know what you're drinking. I'm probably gonna pour me a glass of wine. Well, actually, it's really fucking early. Granted, I am on technically leave right now. I don't start work till Monday, so technically I could have a glass of wine right now, even though it's 3:30 in the evening. I really do need to eat, though, at some point. Jesus. Well, when life gives you lemons, I just make combustible lemons, because who the fuck cares about lemonade? Although I do have some raspberry lemonade that I made in the fridge. You're heading to Hawaii? Oh, that's awesome. I'm jealous, Mr. Aviation. I haven't even been to Hawaii. I don't remember saying I slapped a cat. I really don't. It is 7 p.m. somewhere. That's right. A fucking drink. A glass of wine. Aw, thank you, Wild. Yeah, I really enjoyed doing that collaboration with Rainbot. That's not my type of video. Like, I don't do a lot of informational type horror videos. I might do 1 or 2 later on. It's just a lot of research that I'm really lazy about doing. That's right. Lemon bangers. Lemon bombs. Combustible lemons. If you've played Portal 2, you would know that reference. You're right, Panda Overlord. It is 5 o'clock somewhere. Making apple juice out of lemons? Yeah, that would definitely be something awesome. Pitt, you gotta come here first and cook me dinner, or make me dinner, or take me out to dinner. Hello? You gotta get here first. Well, if everyone says that I did it, I guess I did say I slapped a cat. I don't know. Although I did hit a cat once, but that's because that cat was just being ridiculous. Like, that cat was just all up in my way. Rosy cheeks. Mickey! 9:33 here in Northern Ireland. Oh, wow, really? I've been to Ireland. It was a lot of fun. I really want to go back, actually. Headshot. I would love to do a collab with one of those bigger YouTubers like Markiplier or Cryotic. Although, fun fact, for those of you who've been following me and like the Conjuria podcast or whatever that I'm going to be in, Cryotic is actually in one of the episodes. So is Mr. Creepypasta, Creeps McPasta, and Creeperoni is going to be in it too. Somewhere in the series. I don't know when, I don't know where, I don't know how, but they're all going to be in there, so I'm really stoked about it. Aw, Eclipse, don't worry, you're not late. Oh, you better watch out then, Mr. Aviation, if you're flying United. The cat was being stupid. Aw, Acrylic Superman. Aw, well, okay, thank you for coming by. I really appreciated it so much. I hope to see you again. Oh yeah, that was a long time ago, I feel like, when I collaborated with Let's Read and Axeman. Okay, cheeky Rocket Boy. Hey, Philosopher Gaming. Hey, Jackie Martin. Hey, Jenna Flower. Oh wow, you love my natural voice way more than my creepy voice? Wow, that's new. Not a lot of people actually say that. Want to play Pearl Harbor. What? Chuck Carpenter, just waking up to this in Oregon. Aw, thanks, Chuck. Oh, when I read the creepy stuff. Okay. Yeah. Some people like my natural voice, too. A lot of people don't think that my natural voice is different from my creepy reading voice, I guess. And then a lot of people say that it is different. It's really, really strange. Yay! Thank you, Pitt. I'm excited. I can't wait. Aw, thanks, Eclipse. Thank you. King of all gods. What do I like to do? What I like to do for fun? I like to play video games, read, write, surf the internet, draw. I love drawing. I haven't drawn in a while. I really need to get back in the swing of that too. That's awesome, Big Daddy Jefferson. No, my hair is not actually red. That is a myth. Right when you said you hit a cat, my cat hissed. I think he's a shapeshifter. That's really funny. Aw, Pit. Stop it. Stop it, you. Oh, shut up, Damaged Mods. Oh my god. I know I'm human. Aw, I'm glad I was able to help you get through some hard times. That really means a lot to me, that I'm able to help you guys get through some rough times in your life. Like, I know what that's like, to deal with issues and not have anyone to support you and not have anyone to rely on. And then when you do find that anchor, it's really comforting. It's the same thing whenever I listen, like whenever I'm doing stuff with you guys or getting emails from you all and talking to you guys on Twitter and on Facebook and getting emails from everyone. Like, it's just such a strong anchor for me. And you guys have helped me get through my hard times too, believe it or not. Like, I've had some really rough roads, and just you guys being there meant the world to me. So thank you so much for all of your love and support. Seriously. I have to go Riley again. I should get someone to write a story about an underground society about suicide and murder where they kidnap people and kill them, and you should have the perspective of the kidnappee and how the person escaped. Huh. Well, if someone wants to write that story, by all means. I sound a whole lot mature when I read serious stuff. Now I just sound like you could be the cutesy friend of the group. Well, thank you. Thank you very, very, very much. That's, I don't know how to feel about that considering I'm 30. I don't know. Anyway, that's beside the point. the country ass Goofy. Oh my god, that fucking outtake video was too much. Illuminati. Woo! Anyway, okay, so the next story I'm gonna read for you guys is actually part 1. I'm gonna intermingle, like I'm gonna read each part intermingled, and like in between each break, I'm gonna like let another video play that's an old one that you guys can listen to of mine. Just kind of give me a break from reading. I have like a big jug of water over here that I've been drinking, just to kind of give myself a break, because it's been a while since I've ever, it's been a while since I've done a live stream this long. I've been streaming for about an hour now, but yeah, it has been a while since I've streamed, guys, so I'm trying to give my voice a little bit of a rest. Also because I've been doing a lot more VA work on the side. Eden, would you ever consider voice acting? That's actually one of the things that I'm striving toward right now. I'm planning on taking my voice acting a lot more serious. I'm part of the No Sleep podcast. I'm an official voice actor for that group now, which is awesome. I'm on their collaborators page now. I've done some stuff with Chilling Tales for Dark Night for their Simply Scary podcasts. I'm going to be doing Conjuria, which is a podcast created by Atticus Jackson and Henry Galley. For those of you who read the story, The Blood Game, he did that story, and he also did the Eastwood Clan, which was the video I did recently on my channel. Those are both by him as well. So I don't know, like I really do want to focus more on that aspect of my voice. Like I really do want to focus more on that, and I have been. So I just love voice acting, really. Eventually, I do want to be in a video game or an anime or a cartoon show or something like that. But when I have the time, I'm going to focus a lot more of my efforts into sending out auditions and stuff and seeing if I get callbacks and keeping up with open auditions in the area, even if I have to drive to Dallas-Fort Worth, which actually is only 5 hours away from where I am. So I could make that drive in a weekend and get there on time for an audition, which I think would be fucking awesome. Yes, Persona 5. I changed it though because I didn't want to get copyright infringed. I'm sorry, Luke Chase. I'm sorry if I changed it. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. Yeah. I don't want to get copyright infringed, so I had to hurry up and change it. I'm sorry, guys. Well, Jenna Flower, make sure you get through school first, and you'll have all the time in the world to focus on other things, but that would be awesome. Definitely, if you want me in a project of yours, like, you should totally have me in it. By the way, holy shit, guys, like, the fact that so many of you know that was the Persona 5 song fucking makes me so happy. Like, oh my god, you have no idea. That's really cool. Because Persona is, like, my favorite Shin Megami Tensei, like, game series ever, so you guys fucking rock. Miss K reads, any tips for a new narrator? Read stories that you like. Yeah, like, read stories that you like. That's the biggest thing. Read stories that you like, read stories that you're comfortable with, and that can really showcase your natural vocal talents. That's the only thing that I can really give you as far as advice goes. Don't worry about equipment, don't worry about recording software, don't worry about video quality. Just get your voice out there, because if people really like you, they won't care about that shit. They'll come back for you for your voice every single time. So that's just legit my own, my own take on it. Aw, thank you, Damaged Mods. I would never forget you, Cheeky Rocket Boy. Trust me. Trust me when I tell you this. Yes, I do believe in God. I also believe in reincarnation, and I do believe in old souls. So that is a thing. It's weird. Like, I'm a Christian, but I also have, like, Taoist beliefs. It's weird, isn't it? Like, I don't know. But I do believe in reincarnation. I do believe this is not our first life cycle in the world. They're young souls, they're old souls. That's why, like, I believe in deja vu, you know what I mean? Like, I think deja vu is just your old self telling you, hey, this is a familiar situation. Maybe you should pay attention, kind of thing. Aw, thanks, Philosopher Gaming. I'm glad that I could inspire you. Aw, no problem, Jenna Flower. I'm really always about like making sure that people get through school and finish school and do what they need to do to get, to get through that and be successful. Yes, Dart the Rainwing, you can call me Senpai. That's really creepy, Eclipse. Not gonna lie. Maybe you don't have to deal with apple trees whenever you go to Alaska. That'd be awesome. I wouldn't want to deal with that nonsense. I watched Insidious 3 last night. That was a bad idea. Yay! I'm glad to hear it, Jackie. Yes, I still do earn revenue, just not as much because of the boycott. I mean, though the boycott I heard is over, so that should kind of fix things. Hey, Jinja! Hey, how are you? If I could be reincarnated into any animal, I would want to be a wolf or a tiger. Rawr. I have not done a face reveal. I won't do one until I reach 100,000 subs. I feel like I should write an FAQ out for you guys, because that's like a constant question that keeps popping up. No, I won't ground you if you get bad grades. Okay, not gonna lie, Insidious, the first one's still my favorite, but like Insidious 3 really freaked me the fuck out. Like, I was like, what the fuck is going on? A lot of jump scares. It's not fair. It jump scared me, and you guys know I scare really easily. Hey, Candy! You guys know I scare really easy, right? So, out of all the Insidious movies, 3 was the only one that I screamed in, but that's because that jump scare was not fair. I was really pissed off after the fact because I was like, that is bullshit. They stuck that jump scare in there just for the lulz, just to make me mad. And I've been good, Eden, and it's not been an easygoing move, let me tell you. Although Jay did come by my house, or by my apartment yesterday, and he helped me put up my curtains, which is cool. Facepalm the panda, hey. And yes, Stank Engine, I agree. It doesn't matter what you believe in as long as you're a good person and spread good vibes, for sure. Hey Bjorn, how's it going? Hey Candelier. I haven't finished Attack on Titan Season 2. Yeah, you're right. Everyone is doing that. Yeah, that was some fucked up shit. Queen Miss Bliss. I was not cool. Nah, it was cool. Like, we didn't really do any drinking. It was just, we just kind of chilled for the afternoon. Snowboard all the way. Snowboard, for sure. Just because I used to skateboard. Just saying. Let's see. Alright, so next story is it's actually 4 parts. But all 4 parts are done. And it's called Nobody Talks About What It's Really Like to Be a Contract Killer. I know a lot of you have asked me to read The Day I Hired a Hitman, but I really feel like that's Corpse Husband's unicorn baby thing, and I really don't want to touch that until like enough time has passed by where not a lot of people will be like, you just copied Corpse Husband, or Corpse Husband did it better than you did, la la la, you know, because I love Corpse. He's like one of my best friends, but seriously, I don't want to be compared. Like, I don't like that shit. It's crazy. That's why I try not to read a bunch of stories that a lot of other people have read, you know what I mean? Because, I mean, why would you do that? Why? Unless they're the classics, you know what I mean? Like, that's the only reason I would read a story someone else has read, is because it's a classic. Otherwise, I try to actually dig through some of these old stories and find them for you guys so you can check them out and be all like, oh my god, I haven't read this story, I heard this story, this sounds really cool. And for those of you who keep asking me about it, yes, I do plan on reading Baraska at some point, especially since Baraska 2 came out. Like, fucking love, like, Jesus, just that let me just tell you, she's a great writer, okay? Like, I cannot begin to tell you how awesome, you know, she is. And a lot of people didn't know that, like, the person, like, okay, CK, a lot of people thought that CK Walker was a guy, and which kind of confused me at first. But yeah, I do plan on reading Baraska. Trust me when I tell you this. Like, it's gonna be great. I'm excited. I would like that a lot, Ginger. I'll definitely have to come up there and see you guys. Yeah, they really didn't, Zelda. They really didn't. But I mean, how many shows really can at some point, especially when you know, when you license them so early like that. I watch Archer sometimes. Right, Zelda? I was like, first of all, they already did the live action movie over in Japan and they did it right, kind of. And the fact that they Americanized it this time, I don't know how I feel about it. I read true scary stories sometimes. I just, I don't do it often. Anyway, all right, so hello, AJG. All right, so anyway, here's the link to the story. I'm gonna go ahead and start on it. It's the first part of 4 parts. So like I said, I'm gonna read each part, but I'm gonna intermingle each part with a different story, so that way I can give myself a break, because I haven't live streamed in a long time, so my voice gets kind of tired earlier than I expect. Like I said, I have a huge jug of water, but even so, that may or may not help. I'm not sure. All right, so here we go. Oh, your real name is Sariona? Okay, that's a beautiful name. All right, so that's part 1. Everybody feel free to click on it and read it as I read aloud. And here we go. This is by Vexod on No Sleep. It's true. Think about it. What do you see in Hollywood? Some Russian mafia assassin who knows flawless martial arts and every shot he fires hits? Some old ex-military veteran who can snipe someone from a building halfway across the city? Yeah, no, none of that is fact. As a matter of fact, and most of my colleagues I've met so far have been under the age of 25, with the exception of a couple of gentlemen who are getting a bit too old for their job, I, as a matter of fact, got my start when I was 17. I was on a forum pretty deep into some Tor browsing when I came across an ad in my city. Janet Welsh, age 47, SB $2,500 BTC. I stared at the post for a long time, wondering what it was referring to doing to her, before I saw a name pop up in a comment under the post. Some cheesy name like Razor or something like that, with a comment body putting simply SB. I figured I'd run across some type of sex traffic ring, but was quickly confused by the next comment. These people weren't bidding more and more, they were bidding less and less. The next bid, placed by a gentleman I would come to know quite well by the name of Oz, posted $2,000. The OP responded with going once, then a minute later, going twice. I didn't know what this was, but being a curious little shit, I decided to throw in a comment. Genie 1200. I barely had to wait a minute before the OP responded with sold 1200. The user Oz responded with fucking lowballers LOL. A smaller sub-chat window, think customer service box on websites, popped open in the corner of my screen. The words, "Congratulations," in big red letters on the screen. OP7316, dispatch. Congratulations, Jeannie. Your target will be located at redacted for obvious reasons. You will be expected to complete by Thursday, March 27th. Happy hunting. P.S. As you are a first-time user, we request that you include a link to your BTC wallet so that you may receive proper payment upon completion. Bitcoin. My stomach sank as I read the message. Killing somebody. I just signed up for fucking killing somebody without even knowing it. Sure, I was a young, dumb kid who maybe let his curiosity get the better of him, but I didn't want the consequences of killing someone. I did not sleep easy that night, as I'm sure you can imagine. Now, guys, I need you to understand that at the time I lived in severe poverty. I'm talking like dinner was a couple of slices of bread most of the time poverty. It was just me and my mom since my dad left us to marry some doctor he cheated on my mom with, and she barely scraped by on slightly more than minimum wage. $1,200 was a lot of bread. I won't drag you through my entire reasoning process. I will tell you that one day at dinner I piped up, "So Mom, I found a new job for after school. Pays really well. I might be able to feed us." I'll never forget the way she looked at me. It was a unique look, and I'm not sure the greatest actor in the world could even replicate it. It was like a shimmer of hope, immediately followed by a reminder of the life we lived and the fact that 9 times out of 10 when a son said this to the mother in my town, it meant I'm going to start slinging. "I don't want my boy selling no crack rock," she said, looking down at the stale bread on her plate. I reached out and grabbed her hand with mine. "It's nothing like that, Mama, I promise." She didn't say anything else, and I knew that her silence meant I'd either convinced her or she was too tired to fight an energetic teenager on the issue. I hated Janet Welsh as soon as I arrived at her house on my bicycle, the spray painted black, and my clothing allowing me to hide decently enough in an alley across from her home. It wasn't much really, but she seemed ridiculously wealthy from my point of view. All sorts of potted plants on her freshly painted porch. Hell, her neighborhood was nice enough that her door was already unlocked even. My windows had bars on them, and it made my hate for Janet grow as my black Walmart combat boots creaked and squeaked against her floor. I stayed frozen there a long time before I realized nothing else had moved in the house, and I hadn't yet been detected. I decided to take my boots off and set them by the front door before creeping up the stairs slowly, the small .45 caliber pistol weighing heavily in my hands as I realized what I was about to do. I reached the one door in the upstairs that had any sound coming from it, and upon pressing my ear against it, I could tell that it was just ambient noise from a television. I slid the knit balaclava over my face, pushing the door open with an all too loud creak. There she was, Janet Welsh, the empty champagne bottles on her nightstand telling me she was one of those people who complained about all of her life's obviously self-inflicted problems. It only made me hate her more as I crept across her carpet, pacing my breath and counting my steps. 1, breathe. 2, breathe. 3. A sharp yowl pierced the all-too-silent ambience formed by the droning voice on the television, and Janet's eyes flew open instantly. This woman had serious fucking balls, because the next thing I knew, where most people would have tried to run, she was lunging at me, swinging wildly and making as much noise as she could. I dodged her first swing, but the second caught me good, sending me sprawling onto the ground as she jumped on top of me, clawing at my face and kneeing me in the groin. I did the only thing I could think to do. Bang! I could tell by the look of surprise on her face and the sudden lack of movement that she couldn't tell I had the all-black weapon. Bang, bang. pressed the gun into her stomach as I fired, hating her the whole time for beating me, having a better life than me, being able to drink champagne, and likely eat a real fucking dinner. I came back to reality quickly. Unlike the pace at which Janet Welch was dying, her ragged gasp suddenly making me sick to my stomach. I stumbled down the stairs, my leather-gloved hands leaving bloodstains all along her walls and handrail as I collapsed out of the front door. Covering my mouth to stop the quickly emerging bile as I sprinted to my bike, ditching my sweater on balaclava and shoving the shower cap I'd worn under it into my back pocket before pedaling home quicker than Mr. Armstrong himself. I didn't move much for 2 days. I didn't move at all, really. I went to the kitchen, ate my bread, shit pissed, and went back to bed. For 2 whole days, that was my routine. Until I finally decided to touch my computer again. That black box appeared on my screen the minute I loaded up Tor. $1,200 bitcoins has been deposited to your wallet. Keep up the good work. I checked, and I'll be damned if there wasn't $1,200 on my Bitcoin wallet. I wanted to jump for joy. I hadn't killed that woman for no reason. I'd be able to feed my mom and maybe even give her a few days off of work. The only question is, would I do it again? At the time, I wasn't sure. As a matter of fact, it wasn't until I saw my mom sprawled out on the couch watching her favorite movie on her new TV with a small bowl of popcorn, a delicacy in our house, that I was sure. For my mother, I'd do anything. All right, that's actually really fucking interesting. I'm gonna have to message this guy and see if I can read his stuff officially on my channel, not like through just a random live stream. All right, so I'm gonna take a break. Well, I'm gonna take a break as in I'm gonna quit talking, but I'm gonna play a video for you guys in the background so you can listen to it. Like I mentioned before, it was called Jason the Toy Maker. And I hope you guys enjoy it. Like I said, I just need a break because I haven't streamed like this in a long time. So just give me a moment and I will set this up real quick. Thank you guys again for coming in and listening to the stream. I'm excited.
I don't have many memories left from my past. The faces of my real parents were like faded masks in my mind. I only had some remains of my childhood, faceless names and total darkness. At the age of 9, something had happened to my family. The trauma was so deep that it made me forget most of my life. I only had the shred of a memory related to my best friend. He was the only one I had in my whole life. It was an image stuck in my mind, going together with laughter in the background and the melody of a music box. Among the back halls of my amnesia, I caught a glimpse of his honey-colored eyes and his dark mahogany hair. I remembered his friendly smile, but nothing else. All the rest disappeared in the dark, and so did he. The memories went back to the orphanage from where I was born. Some awesome parents, Madalena and Stephen, who gave me back the warm feeling of having a family, adopted me, a feeling which I had forgotten. They raised me in their house until the age of 15. My amnesia led me to go on examinations and psychological checkups, which year after year was slowly starting to fail. It looked like I wouldn't be able to get my memory back. This fact left me distorted. On one hand, I wanted to know what happened, but on the other, An odd feeling of anxiety suggested I not to wish for it. Obviously, there was some unpleasant consequence to my trauma. It was just like some paranoia being persecuted by something. The specialist told my parents it must have been linked to a particular memory, which was continuously stimulated. Neither the cause nor what it was exactly was clear, but despite my efforts, I couldn't focus on it. I felt like I was being observed, not by people, but by the stuffed toys in my room. It was stupid, I know. At the beginning, they were simply toys, but time and time again, their big, round eyes seemed to stare at me. Since I was little, I thought the stuffed toys in my room were alive, and sometimes I tried to prove it. I spied out of my room with the door left ajar, then I turned back suddenly, and I never took my eyes off them. Not until I felt a bit of a burning sensation from not blinking my eyes. That memory was one of the few memories from my childhood that still made me smile. But things have changed. Time after time, the stuffed toys were the ones staring at me. It almost looked like they wanted to test me, and I couldn't bear it anymore. The thought stuck in my mind. At times, it seemed to me that they moved, turning their little faces towards me. At other times, they made the noises in my room. This couldn't be true, obviously. Why did this thought persecute me? Why did I hate those stuffed toys? In spite of everything, why didn't I get rid of them? I could have presented them to other children or thrown them into the rubbish. One day I tried, really, I did. But when I took one of them in my arms, a strong sense of anxiety and terror stopped me. I always ended up putting them back to their places, on the furniture, on my bed, and on the shelves. Then I had to take tranquilizers. There was only one toy I took along with me during the night, despite my age. I couldn't separate from him, and I felt a familiar affection from him that started long before my amnesia. I found him in my wardrobe at the orphanage, and from there on out we became inseparable. It was a sweet bunny with ears as long as him. On one side it was red, and on the other side was a caramel color. He wore a black waistcoat with 2 long sleeves that draped down to the point of his feet and dashed an elegant collar that donned pointed tips at every edge of the fabric. His little left beaded eye was covered with a stylish frilly eye patch, and at the center adorned a black button. It was funny, but it looked like the only stuffed toy that was harmless. He slept by my side ever since I was little, just like that night, after I sneak under the sheets, falling asleep almost instantly among the creaking old walls. I was standing still in the darkness, unable to move, and I couldn't understand how I ended up there, surrounded only by the distilled silence. Something slimy grabbed my wrist, and it held me so tightly that an instant pain shot right through me. A set of white nails slowly penetrated my flesh. I watched them cutting through my skin, making me bleed. I screamed and cried, but a laugh bellowed out, covering my desperate pleas.
"She belongs to me,"
a voice whispered to me. Within that dark abyss, 2 green sparkling eyes appeared before me. They were a few inches away from my face.
"You are only a hindrance to me."
He laughed, amused by my pain, while he pierced needles under my nails and into my flesh. He ruined my body with rusty tools. On the contrary, he said he was going to fix me all up. I noticed an open door, the only thing I could distinguish from the darkness, my eyes blurred by the pain. I saw a glimpse of people standing still, gazing down at me. The image of that door got closer in order to show me their vacant expression, despite the grimaces plastered on their faces. I saw that they were not real people. They were dolls, and in some way, I felt a strong sense of nausea overcome me just by staring at them. There was something about them that made me weak to the stomach, and maybe it was their extraordinary and macabre resemblance to real people.
"She belongs to me."
With that, I woke up, my eyes wide open, and the beating of my heart was so loud that I could feel them pounding inside my throat. I couldn't breathe. so I stood up and then sat back down. I rubbed my eyes and I realized that I was sweating. The bunny fell, landing upside down. I leaned down to him and put him back on the bed. My breathing returned to its normal breathing pace, but the image of those needles, dirty of blood, and those terrifying doors remained embedded in my mind. I never had such a nightmare like that before. The feelings were so terribly real. I still felt those claws making a hole in my flesh, but I was relieved that I had woken up. The door squeaked. It was my mother coming into the room. As soon as she saw my exhausted face, a smile on her face faded away.
Honey, are you okay?
Yes, I only had a nightmare. Now everything is all right.
Well, okay. Daisy came to visit you. I told her to wait for you in the living room.
With that, I got up from bed. I was dressed poorly and I didn't want my best friend to see me in that way. While my mother closed the door, I ran over to my wardrobe and took out an ordinary dress. In the space of a few minutes, I came out of my room neat and ready. In my haste, I was out of breath.
Finally!
Exclaimed Daisy, smiling. I met Daisy at middle school, and ever since then we were inseparable. She was a kind and generous person. She was always welcome in our family. My parents appreciated her good manners, but what I loved about her especially was that she never asked me anything about my past. I was able to tell her about my amnesia in complete confidence. The day was nice and sunny, so we laid down in the garden under an old tupelo tree. We talked while sheltering from the sun in the shade of the tree. I bought some colored pencils and blank sheets of paper, and we both started drawing. Daisy felt tired immediately. She started picking daisies, put them in her long, blonde braid while she gossiped about Louisa, a girl who lived for being the center of people's attention. While my friend was talking, I listened to her and kept on drawing without taking my eyes off the sheet of paper.
Who's that?
She asked me suddenly, noticing the drawing. It was as if I fell asleep in that exact moment. I batted my eyelids in front of the sheet of paper, and I felt rather confused about seeing a drawing repeated several times on the same character. I don't know. I did not have the slightest idea of who he was. He had a beautiful, happy smile and 2 yellow eyes that were covered a bit by his fringe. He wore old clothing, and in his hands he was holding a little blue case resembling a music box. Maybe I saw him in an illustration book?
Oh, okay. Let's have an ice cream,
said Daisy, changing the subject of our conversation, seemingly not very interested. Ants are coming under my skirt! On that same night, I had another nightmare, and this was worse than the previous one I had before. I dreamt about that dark figure again, who brutally tortured me and kept saying the same phrase all over again.
She's mine.
I woke up at 2 a.m., breathing rapidly. I curled up, feeling the wall behind my back. I put my hands over my face and breathed in deeply. It was a dream. Just a dream, I whispered. Then I looked over at the bunny next to me, which was looking back at me with his black eye and with an irritated glance. I threw it on the floor. Since the moment I started sleeping with that thing, my dreams turned into meaningless nightmares. I turned around to rest my legs, and in that moment, I touched something with my foot. I elevated my gaze, and I noticed a doll sitting on my bed. At first, I was frozen in place. All I could do was stare at her. I didn't understand how she appeared there. My mind started thinking back to my parents, who giving me a present. Perhaps I didn't have a real thing for dolls, and to tell the truth, her presence in my room bothered me. It was a peculiar doll made of wax with unusual characteristics. She had a headdress of flowers flowing through her hair, and only a few locks caressed her cheeks. She wore an embroidered white lace dress with a black ribbon tied around her waist. Her arms were unordinarily long. She had long tapering fingers that were not even normal. What caught the most of my attention was a rose put at the center of her mouth, as if it was supposed to silence her. I looked at her closer and I scanned her under the moonlight. I touched her face and realized there was something wrong. I kneeled down and tried to get an even closer look at her, and then I heard something. A sort of subdued sound, like a wheeze. It was coming from the same doll. Screaming, I let her fall down onto the floor and stood up in horror, trembling violently, pushing myself back to the wall, screaming for my parents. Suddenly everything turned surreal. The wall next to the door enlarged like there was a bubble between the paint and the cement. Slowly some cracks appeared as they increased in number. The paint fell into pieces, landing on the floor as it revealed a blue door. I hadn't the slightest idea of what was happening. These things exist only in books or in our imagination. But in my astonishment, I felt something was going to come out of that door. From the door, I see the same black hands that I witnessed in my nightmares.
Aren't you happy about Daisy coming to visit you, are you?
Said the monster, standing on the threshold of the door.
I didn't like her either, you know? She screamed a lot.
Daisy? What had she to do with it? I looked around confused, looking for the presence of my friend that obviously was not there anymore. At the inn, my eyes watched over the door. The blonde hair and face made of wax looked strangely familiar. I held my breath. A nightmare. It must have been another nightmare. I rushed over to the doll and turned her face in my trembling hands. I put my ear to her chest and heard another sound along with that horrible wheeze. The pounding of a heart. Daisy! Daisy! I cried desperately. It had to be a nightmare. Something like this could not have been happening. I realized my parents were next to my room according to the sounds I heard. They must have heard me screaming, but the monster blocked the entrance. He pulled the door shut, blocking it in its same setting, deforming the wood. My parents started punching on the other side, and I didn't know what to do. It did not look like a dream. It was perfectly clear. It was realer than those nightmares of darkness and torture. My heart was beating so fast that I started to feel pain from it. I felt the sweat on my forehead and the doll trembling in my hands, which I couldn't keep still. The monster stood at the entrance, not moving from there. In the half-light, I could see his evil smirk, as if he was waiting for my reaction. I unbuttoned Daisy's dress, who looked imprisoned under the tons of wax, and I started to dig, trying to set her free. I dug, and I dug, and I dug, while her moans became more intense, until I felt something wet under my nails. I looked at my hands, covered with blood. Her skin must have been mixed with the wax, and the digging I did was not helping her at all. That thing that supposedly to be Daisy was suffering. Her wheezes were blood-curdling, but her expression was still that of an impassive doll. I trembled with horror. I had to repress a retch, and suddenly I felt my arm being grabbed.
My splendid Maggie, you've ruined your doll,
exclaimed the monster. His whitish eyes sparkled with a pale green light.
You even threw Mr. Bunny on the floor, but I forgive you. You must return to the place where you belong, by my side.
Who the hell are you? I shook like a madman, trying to set myself free while my parents were trying to break down the door. The expression of that creature was filled with astonishment.
I am Jason, the toy maker,
he exclaimed.
Your faithful friend, the only one you could trust.
At hearing that name, something moved in my memories like an electric shock that hit through my body. My father succeeded breaking down the door and turned on the light. When I finally saw him, his face primed a bomb that exploded, setting free my memories that were buried deep in the corners of my mind all those years. I remember the day we met for the first time. The toys that seemed to bloom from his hands. I remembered his friendly smile that gradually turned into a sharp and sadistic smirk. That day he showered me with his exasperation. He expected me to give him more attention because in his arrogance he believed he deserved everything from me. And he grew tired of me. Then he showed me what he really was. He revealed that he had eliminated all the people that I surrounded in my life. He kidnapped my friends for turning them into his toy dolls, and I was bluntly stupid to always admire them. Rushing home was useless because the blue door reappeared at the center of the living room. He massacred my parents. He took his revenge by taking them away from me and almost got to me too. I managed to escape from his clutch, running as much as I could away from him. As far as I ran, the smell of blood and that of the decomposed flesh lingered in the air. It was you! I was possessed by anger and I started hitting him. You killed them! You! I kept hitting him, but Jason was smiling as if it was tickling him. He didn't have any remorse for ruining my life. He was a possessive beast who concealed himself from my childish eyes behind an angel's face. He was able to give me everything and at the same time to terminate everything around me. He was fiendish.
Of course it was me, splendid creature. Mr. Bunny even showed it to you.
He smiled with self-evident truth.
I made for you many toys, and I can't wait to introduce you, Miranda. But you can call her Mandy, if you like.
Suddenly, something hit his head and it shattered into pieces. My father had a wooden club. He aimed a blow at the monster's head, but the one that broke was the wood. Jason's smile turned into an infuriated scowl and his grip increased on my wrist. He turned around, and when my father saw Jason's face, he opened his eyes wide, and my mother covered her mouth to conceal her screams. My father didn't waste time, trying again to set me free. The club broke in half with that one blow to the toy maker's face and allowed him to let go of me. Together with my parents, I ran out from the room. We quickly rushed to the entrance. My father opened the door, but instead of the garden path in front of us, there was Jason's workshop.
Maggie, I'll give you one last chance,
Jason said calmly, walking down the stairs.
After which, I'll dye the walls with the blood of all the people who surrounded you, you bastard.
To the kitchen, quick!
We ran over to the kitchen, hearing that monster's laugh following us, and once we were in, we could still see through the windows. The toy maker's little factory. Now I was desperately sure it wasn't a nightmare. The terror overwhelmed me, and Daisy's blood on my fingers was more real than anything else I have felt. I turned around. Where's Dad? My mother grabbed a knife and got closer to me, holding me tightly in her arms.
Stephen!
With her trembling voice, she called him, but we sighed with relief when we saw him coming into the kitchen.
Hurry up before...
My mother's voice blocked. Just like me, she stared at Dad's pale face. He walked slowly, with a fixed look at the area as his eyes were wide open. Suddenly, he fell on the floor and behind him appeared Jason's frozen smile. The toy maker looked at me with crazed eyes.
Daddy's battery decreased. It should be recharged.
Jason revealed a giant mechanical key and drove it into my father's back, already stained with blood. He turned it with force and twisting my father's backbone. At the second turn, I shouted, covering my ears to block out the sound of the breaking bones. But I couldn't help taking my eyes off my father's body, contorting itself like a snake.
Go away! Be gone! Leave my child alone!
My mother held me tight at her chest, and despite the terror and the tears she shed, her face resembled one of those lionesses shielding her cub.
Silence, woman! It's not you who I want to talk to,
growled the furious toy maker, and in the end, he pointed his white claw at me.
Come with me, my sweet friend. We will have fun together. We'll be back at laughing like we did then.
No, you're just an insane psychopath. I don't know what kind of monster you are. I really don't have any idea how you could exist in this world. But one thing's for sure. You must disappear from my life forever! At the sound of my refusal, Jason's face clouded over and his eyes sparkled with fury. He started to rave, to contort himself and jerking his head as if he went on the blink because of me.
I don't understand.
He growled quietly.
I don't understand.
He screamed, grinding his teeth, his face becoming more terrifying.
I was the one staying by your side when your parents referred to work then to stay with you. I was a loyal friend while the ones surrounding you only looked for you while they needed it.
He came closer.
I gave you all my attention, giving you loads of toys, and I never made you lack of anything. I always aimed for your own good, and that's why I destroyed everything hurting you.
His screams were so loud that resounded over the walls, while my body shook in horror at every word.
I got rid of all the people saddening you because I wanted you to be happy by my side, and after I looked for you for so long, you even forgot me. I was a true friend, but you turned your back on me.
Suddenly, his furious face relaxed, but not his previous insane smile.
After doing everything for you, there isn't any other explanation. There's really something wrong with you.
He installed it in me with an accusatory look.
You really were a very bad little girl. So I have to fix you up.
What? I trembled with my voice.
You heard me well. You little ungrateful child. I will fix you up so you'll be good.
He sniggered.
You'll become a very beautiful toy doll.
My mother, who was paralyzed by Jason's tirade, suddenly woke and pointed the knife at him.
If you even dare to graze Maggie, I swear I'll kill you.
Jason looked at my mother with a challenging gaze and slowly came closer. The knife was trembling in my mother's hand while the toy maker gave an inexpressive guise. She couldn't stand the tension. She pushed me behind her and hurled herself onto him. My mother stabbed him in the heart, and the monster opened his eyes wide. He made a contortion of pain, corrugating his dark eyebrows, and my mother smiled triumphantly.
Just kidding.
In that moment, a smirk reappeared on Jason's face. He opened his arms with nonchalance without even taking out the knife from his chest. My mother was shocked and stood still for a few seconds, but she was possessed by exasperation and started stabbing him several times, trying desperately to make him react somehow. The disgusting sound of the flesh pierced by the knife could be heard clearly while the shirt was ripping, but Jason kept his balance perfect.
That's enough now.
He commented, bored, and straight after he hit my mother on her face, making her fall violently to the floor.
I'll be in trouble if you scratched it.
I was quickly next to my mother, helping her get to her knees. The side of her face was already swollen. My eyes leaped on the toy maker. I was waiting for his immediate revenge, but I was petrified when I glimpsed what he was doing. He unbuttoned his shirt and drove his nails into his chest, close enough to the injuries he got from the knife. He sank his claws into his flesh, and he slowly started pulling on the opposite side. The wound appeared as a little rip in the center, which enlarged as the flesh shredded like paper. A thick, black liquid dripped to the floor. It was not blood. Even if it was, then it must have been something rotten. Something sparkled in his exposed ribcage.
You probably forgot how much I care for my splendid music box, but luckily, everything is all right.
He took his hands off his exposed chest and covered the hole with his shirt, hiding the music box that started to play from the inside. He then came closer. I wanted to scream. I wanted to beg. But the horror I had witnessed left me completely paralyzed to do anything, which implied squeezing up with my mother. It only took a yank for the toy maker to tear her out of my arms. He took her up without effort and pushed her back onto his chest, for preventing her to wiggle out of him. He clenched his arm around her neck, while with the other blocked the hand that stabbed him.
Now I'll show you what happens to who tries to hinder me, Mom.
He slowly bent her arm in the opposite direction. She cried from pain, trying to set herself free, but that monster was strong enough to bend her limb and make the bone come out. My mother sank her nails in his blackish flesh, which flaked apart, producing a nauseating smell, but she could not set herself free since the grip was wrapped tightly. All right, I'll come with you, I shouted with all the voice I had in my body. Jason raised his stare and gave me a serious look. My mother was becoming paler due to the pain and the blood loss. She needed my help, but there's nothing I could do but handing myself to the toy maker. You can take me with you, but leave my mother alone, I said with my trembling voice. After all, we're friends, right? I tried to make a convincing smile, despite the fact I was trembling from head to toe and my eyes were filled with tears. Jason smirked. He was outright satisfied and pleased with his victory.
Excellent choice, Maggie.
At that moment, his arms took back their usual color. His lacerations cicatrized in a few seconds, and he was back to his usual appearance. His face returned to its normal state, but I already knew what he concealed behind those amber-colored eyes. It seemed Jason accepted my surrender, but before leaving my mother, he took out of his pocket a little red mouse. It was unmistakably a toy, one of those with a winding key. He grabbed my mother from her jaw and pushed it into her mouth.
What's wrong, Mom? Did the mouse take your tongue?
He laughed, amused, pushing her away from himself. In the nick of time, I saw my mother's eyes, wide-eyed and frightened. A light, then an explosion. She fell on her knees, her jaw, her nose, and her eyes beat into a bloody pulp. She fell on the ground, a stain of blood enlarged from under her body. Blood and pieces of flesh spurted on me, but I was paralyzed in front of my mother's corpse, while Jason didn't stop laughing. Why? Why did you do that? The toy maker's overwhelming shadow covered me and bent down to me. His face got closer, which was spoiled by a rift on his flesh wrought by the club.
Because I'm not your friend anymore, you little shit. Now I'm your creator.
He then grasped me by my arm and dragged me towards him.
Now, let me fix you up.
Well, that was a thing. So I'm gonna have to cut this stream short, guys. I apologize. There is a storm raging in the area. But I will play one last video, because I said that I would. I said it in the chat, so I'm going to keep my promise and play it. One moment. Excuse me. But yeah, so I just wanted to thank you guys all for coming by, stopping by. I appreciate it. Like I said, I'm gonna play one more video. I might stream tomorrow about the same time as I did today. I know, I'm sorry guys. It's just the weather, and I'm worried that, you know, something's gonna happen. Even with surge protection, I still kind of freak out over stuff like this. But if it's not too late, by the time the storm's over, I may come back on and stream again. Otherwise, I will be editing video and audio and whatnot. But one last thing I want to leave you guys with before I go. It's a short video. Several people requested in the chat that I read the chandelier. So I'm just gonna play the chandelier when I read it a long time ago. It's in the earlier part of my playlist for Eden Reads, but I'm gonna go ahead and do it later. Yes, absolutely. Thank you. Thanks for everyone for stopping by. But yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and get this ready to go for you all. So let's see here. Oops. Oh, perfect. It's right where I need it to be. Well, almost. Excuse me. There we go. Actually, that's about where it needs to be. Alright, so that being said. Oh, a cool cat. Okay. My Australian accent, I can only say a few words in Australian, or with an Australian accent, one of them being hello and no, or I don't know. With that one, it's I don't know and hello. And let's see. You're going to, I think it's, I can give directions, which is, you're going to take a right over there, and you're going to want to go left over there, and then come right round that bend, and once you're there, you will want to stop and start asking questions around the area, and they'll give you a better idea of where you need to go. But yeah, so with that being said, I'm going to finish up the stream with the chandelier. It's a short one, and I hope you all enjoy, and thank you guys so much for coming in to the stream. I appreciate you guys. You guys are awesome. And here it is with The Chandelier by C.K. Walker. Oh, and I'm sorry, Bamzilla, that you missed the stream. I don't know what's going on with the notifications. They're always so late.
The year my mother and father were wed, my father bought his wife a very beautiful baccarat chandelier. It weighed 1 ton and hung down 2 entire flights of stairs. Because it was so large, my father searched high and low for a home that could accommodate it. He chose a very old palatial home in the Welsh countryside. The mansion was 6 stories tall, and in the middle of the home was a tall, spiraled atrium with a glass ceiling. The stairs wrapped around the walls of the spire, encircling the great chandelier at the top. As far back as I can remember, I would spend my days lying underneath the cascading crystals far above, and watching the twinkling prisms catch the sunlight and cast vibrant, breathing rainbows across the walls. My mother would smile at me and giggle to my father behind her hands. I was a romantic, she said, a dreamer. Father would smile knowingly, but never bothered to glance my way. He only had eyes for my mother, at least until my brother George came along. But I wasn't a dreamer, no. I fought sleep with every breath. I much preferred to spend my evenings dancing in the starfields that twinkled in the spire on clear nights. If moonlight shone into the great atrium, it was transformed by the baccarat into a million shimmering, glittering tiny stars. The chandelier was always gently swaying, even without a draft in the house, and it would make the crisp, vibrant celestials dance upon the wall to a song I could almost hear. And I would dance among them. One day I awoke from an afternoon nap to the sharp sound of a protesting metal groan. I arrived at the banister just in time to see the baccarat's metal support snap in two. The chandelier fell half a story until it was brought to a violent and abrupt halt by its last remaining support, a thick nylon rope. George was playing with a train set far below, and I screamed at him. He looked up at me for just a moment, and then he was obscured from my view as the nylon snapped and the chandelier went crashing down 5 stories to the first floor, where my mother had thrown herself protectively over George. My father would only shed his tears for them behind closed doors. A week after their deaths, Father had the baccarat repaired and rehung. It had been my mother's, and he loved her deeply. Perhaps he liked to look at it and think of her. But I like to think he rehung it for me because he knew how much I loved it. But the chandelier wasn't the same. The gentle cadence it had loyally kept was now replaced by a stillness as absolute as death. The rainbows were dull, almost colorless, and the dancing stars that had once glittered upon the walls at night were absent, and the spiraled atrium remained as dark as the heart of obsidian. I still spend my days and nights lying on the floor, looking up at the chandelier and hoping its magic will return to me. Some days I can almost see the vibrant colors and speckled starlight. Most days, I see nothing at all. But nothing at all is better than the nightmare that peeks through the veil sometimes, cruel and uninvited. Sometimes I can feel the cold and the hunger and the pain in my chest. Sometimes the dark nights and dull days make sense. Sometimes I can see the chandelier for what it really is. Because sometimes I remember that it wasn't the baccarat that my father hung at the top of the atrium that day. It was himself.
Alright guys, and that's it for tonight, or today. I'll probably stream later on tonight. Like I said, bad weather's pushing in, so I have to cut it short, unfortunately. But thank you everyone so much for coming by. I appreciate it. You guys are amazing. Everyone who's able to stick around. I know it was a little earlier than normal. But yeah, this is awesome. And yes, Bearded Diesel, that was a song that played on Dead Island. The trailer for it, actually. And thank you, Cool Cat. I'm glad that my Australian accent made your night. Hopeful Generation, Gage, I'm sorry you missed everything, but if I do stream later, you'll be able to tune in for that. And with that being said, thank you guys so much. I know, Noah, I'm sorry. Bye, guys. But, yeah. Oh, your maker, you are so late. What the hell, man? Oh, no. I'm sorry. Hey, your maker, if I come on later on tonight, you should join in on the stream. For real, though. Because we've got to talk to everyone and let everyone know what's going on. Because I don't know if you guys know, but your maker and I, we actually got slotted to do an audiobook together called... I did a promo for it. If you guys saw it, it was Dance in the Dark. Book 1 Confessions, and your maker and I are actually in that book together, or we're going to be doing the audio reading for that book, so I'm really excited. So that's really funny. Aw, I hope she feels better, maker. Seriously, dude. Well, later on, like I said, if you want to come into the stream, you should totally do it. And we can tell everybody what's going on, as I just told everyone that we're doing an audiobook together, so I'm really excited. So you guys should stick around for that. But anyway, I love you guys. You are so fucking awesome. Take care. I actually was eating pizza during one of the videos, so I have eaten and I'm good. And with that being said, thank you so much, everyone. You guys are awesome. My hellions, I love you so much. Y'all are the best. You guys fucking rock. And until next time, bye.